Most people believe the path to wealth is simple. Get a good job, work hard, and earn a bigger salary. But there's a problem. The more hours you work, the more money you make. And when you stop working, the income stops too. That's why millions of people feel trapped in a cycle of work, bills, and expenses. Every month, money comes in through a paycheck and almost immediately flows back out through rent, taxes, food, insurance, and everyday costs. You work more. You earn more. You spend more. Year after year, the cycle repeats. Meanwhile, time keeps moving forward. The harsh reality is that a salary alone has limits. There are only so many hours in a day, and your income is tied directly to those hours. If you want extraordinary wealth, you need something more powerful than trading time for money. You need leverage, because the wealthiest people in the world don't just work harder. They build systems that allow 1 hour of effort to create results far beyond 1 hour of income. Imagine two people starting with the same amount of effort. The first person trades time for money. Every dollar requires more hours worked. The second person uses leverage. Leverage is the ability to multiply your results without multiplying your time. Think of it like a rocket versus a ladder. A ladder gets you higher one step at a time. A rocket changes your trajectory completely. That's why wealthy people focus on building leverage instead of simply working harder. Leverage can come through skills, investments, technology, content, or systems that continue producing value long after the original effort is made. Instead of asking, "How can I work more hours?" they ask, "How can 1 hour of work create results for years?" This shift in thinking changes everything. Because once you understand leverage, you stop chasing income and start building assets that grow on their own. And the first high-leverage skill is one of the most profitable skills on earth: sales. Many people hear the word sales and immediately think about pushy salespeople. But real sales is something very different. Sales is simply helping people move from a problem to a solution. Every business depends on sales. Without sales, there are no customers. Without customers, there is no revenue. And without revenue, there is no business. That's why people who master sales are incredibly valuable. They know how to communicate value, solve problems, and influence decisions. The better you become at sales, the more opportunities begin appearing in your life. You can sell products. You can sell services. You can sell ideas. You can even sell yourself during a job interview. Sales is leverage because one conversation can create thousands of dollars in value. A small action can produce a massive result. And that's exactly what leverage is all about. The next skill works closely with sales and makes every other skill more powerful: communication. Great ideas are worthless if nobody understands them. That's why communication is one of the highest leverage skills you can build. The ability to clearly explain ideas creates opportunities everywhere. Strong communicators attract better jobs, better clients, better partnerships, and stronger relationships. When you communicate effectively, people trust you. When people trust you, they listen. And when they listen, opportunities follow. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders. They aren't just experts. They're exceptional communicators. They know how to inspire action and influence decisions. A single conversation can lead to a promotion. A presentation can attract investors. A message can open doors that would otherwise stay closed. Communication multiplies every skill you have. Because the more people who understand your value, the more value you can create. And the next skill allows your money to start working harder than you do. Investing. Most people work for money. Investors make money work for them. That's the difference. Investing is one of the most powerful forms of leverage because it separates income from effort. You earn money once. Then that money continues generating more money. Stocks, ETFs, businesses, and real estate are all examples of assets that can grow over time. The magic happens through compounding. Compounding is when your gains begin generating their own gains. First, progress looks slow. But over time, growth accelerates dramatically. A small investment can eventually become something much larger. This is why wealthy people focus on acquiring assets instead of only increasing income. Income pays the bills. Assets build wealth. The earlier you start investing, the longer compounding has to work in your favor. And today, there's another form of leverage that didn't exist for previous generations: content. For most of history, your influence was limited by geography. Today, one piece of content can reach thousands or even millions of people. That's leverage. A video, article, podcast, or social media post can continue working long after it's created. You make it once. People consume it repeatedly. The internet allows your ideas to scale. That's why content has become one of the most valuable skills in the modern economy. Content builds trust. Trust builds audiences. Audiences create opportunities. Whether you're an entrepreneur, investor, freelancer, or employee, content can expand your reach far beyond your immediate network. The best part? Every piece of content becomes a digital asset. It can attract customers, clients, partnerships, and opportunities while you sleep. That's leverage at scale. And now there's a technology making content creation and business growth even more powerful: artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming one of the most valuable leverage tools available today. Why? Because AI allows individuals to achieve results that once required entire teams. Tasks that used to take hours can now take minutes. Research becomes faster. Content becomes easier to create. Business operations become more efficient. AI doesn't replace leverage. It amplifies leverage. The people who learn how to use AI effectively can produce more output with less effort. That's why businesses around the world are investing heavily in automation. When repetitive work is automated, more time becomes available for high-value activities. The goal isn't to work harder. The goal is to work smarter. AI helps you scale knowledge, productivity, and execution. And when combined with sales, communication, investing, and content, its power becomes even greater. Because the real magic happens when these skills work together. Not separately, together. Most people focus on mastering one skill. Wealthy people build skill stacks. A skill stack is a combination of abilities that become far more powerful together than they are individually. Sales helps you create revenue. Communication helps you create opportunities. Investing helps you grow wealth. Content helps you scale reach. AI helps you scale productivity. Each skill strengthens the others. The result is exponential leverage. This is why two people with similar intelligence can achieve dramatically different outcomes. One person develops isolated skills. The other develops connected skills. The connected skills create momentum, and momentum creates growth. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. You don't need to master everything overnight. You simply need to start building leverage one skill at a time. Because eventually those skills combine into something incredibly powerful. A wealth machine. Imagine your financial future as a machine. Every skill you develop becomes another gear inside that machine. Sales generates revenue. Communication generates opportunities. Investing generates growth. Content generates reach. AI generates scale. When these gears begin working together, something remarkable happens. Your effort becomes multiplied. Instead of relying on one source of income, you create multiple pathways to growth. Instead of constantly chasing opportunities, opportunities begin finding you. This is how leverage works. At first, progress feels slow. But over time, the machine becomes stronger and more efficient. The more valuable your skills become, the more valuable your results become. And unlike a paycheck, these skills cannot be taken away. They stay with you for life. That's why building leverage is one of the smartest investments you can make. Because leverage transforms effort into wealth. If there's one lesson to remember from this video, it's this: wealth is rarely created by working more hours. It's created by increasing leverage. The most successful people learn skills that allow their effort to create larger and larger results over time. Sales, communication, investing, content, and AI. These 5 skills can dramatically change your financial future if you commit to learning them consistently. You don't need to master all of them today. Start with one. Improve a little every week. Then keep building. Because small improvements, compounded over years, create extraordinary outcomes. The future belongs to people who know how to multiply their effort instead of simply increasing it. If you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe to Wealth with Mark for more videos about money, investing, leverage, and financial freedom. And remember, don't just work for money. Build systems that make money work for you. If these skills are so powerful, why don't more people build them? Because most people are trapped by comfort. They spend years mastering their job but never invest time learning skills that create leverage. After work, they scroll. They watch. They consume. But they rarely build. And over time, that habit becomes expensive. The truth is that growth often feels uncomfortable. Learning sales can feel awkward. Creating content can feel embarrassing. Investing can feel risky. And learning new technology can feel overwhelming. But every wealthy person started as a beginner. The difference is they were willing to stay uncomfortable longer than everyone else. While most people focus on short-term comfort, successful people focus on long-term freedom. That's why the gap continues growing. Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about developing skills that increase your value over time. And the good news is that you don't need to quit your job to start. One of the biggest myths about wealth is that you need huge amounts of free time. You don't. Most successful people started while working full-time jobs. They used evenings, weekends, and small pockets of free time. Even 1 hour per day can completely change your future. 1 hour learning sales. 1 hour studying investing. 1 hour creating content. 1 hour experimenting with AI. Small actions may seem insignificant today, but those actions compound. Just like investments compound. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. Because consistency turns beginners into experts. And experts create opportunities that most people never see. The best time to start building leverage was years ago. The second best time is today. Because every day you delay is another day your future skills are not growing. And skill growth works exactly like wealth growth. Through compounding. Most people understand that money compounds. But very few realize that skills compound too. A better communicator becomes a better salesperson. A better salesperson earns more money. More money creates more investment opportunities. Investments create more wealth. Content creates more reach. AI increases productivity. Each skill strengthens every other skill. And eventually, the results become exponential. This is why successful people often seem to accelerate faster over time. They aren't working harder. They're benefiting from years of compounded skill development. What starts as a tiny advantage eventually becomes a massive gap. The same principle that builds investment portfolios also builds careers, businesses, and wealth. Small improvements repeated consistently create extraordinary outcomes. That's the hidden power of leverage. And it leads to one final lesson that most people completely overlook. The real goal isn't simply earning more money. The real goal is becoming more valuable. Money follows value, and value comes from skills. The wealthiest people focus on improving themselves before improving their bank account, because they understand a simple truth. When you become more valuable, opportunities naturally increase. Income increases. Influence increases. Wealth increases. The 5 skills in this video are powerful because they transform who you become. They change the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you solve problems, and the way you create value for others. That's why the greatest return on investment isn't found in a stock. It's found in yourself. Because skills cannot be taken away. And once developed, they continue paying dividends for the rest of your life. Let's recap. Most people spend their lives trading time for money. But wealthy people build leverage. Sales creates revenue. Communication creates opportunities. Investing creates compounding wealth. Content creates reach. And AI creates scale. Individually, each skill is powerful. Together, they become a wealth-building machine. You don't need to master everything overnight. Start with one skill. Practice consistently. Then build from there. Because the future belongs to people who know how to multiply their effort instead of simply increasing it. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Wealth with Mark for more lessons on money, investing, leverage, and financial freedom. And remember, your salary can help you survive, but leverage helps you build wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Rocket Money Bag Chart Increasing.